Good evening, I'm Christopher Sullivan-Diaz, and our Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Nebraska head football coach Matt Rhule officially announced today the promotion of 2 assistant coaches to lead the Husker special teams and the hiring of a defensive assistant. Brett Marl will serve as Nebraska special teams coordinator, while Nick Humphrey will be named the co-special teams coordinator. Tyler Yelk will join the Husker staff as a safeties coach after spending the past 3 seasons on the Philadelphia Eagles staff. The Nebraska women's tennis team will travel to Charleston, South Carolina for a pair of matches against the College of Charleston and Charleston Southern. And finally, the number 9 Nebraska basketball team came up short in a defensive battle last night at Iowa, falling to the host Hawkeyes 57-52. Our Sports Ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Our One Sports Nightly is up right next here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Bounding it is Prager. Hoiberg lets it roll, picks it up as it crosses the timeline. Need a 3 right now. Hoiberg mass shoots the 3. It's on the money. Got it! Smack down the hole. Right down the avenue. It's a 2-point game. 68-66.
Deep 3 right wing Logan Nisley. You betcha! A CDA 3 for Logan. She's got 12. It is 69-63 Minnesota.
First pitch to Dylan Carey is a high drive to deep left center field. Giving it a look is the left fielder. He leaps and it is gone. Over the glove of Goretti in the left field fence, and Dylan Carey has the first home run of the season for the Cornhuskers. A towering moonshot over the left center field wall, and Nebraska jumps in front 1-0.
From to the line. Her 2-2. Terry takes over the outside corner. Cold strike 3. Down goes Terry. Down goes Tech. And the Huskers have taken down the top-ranked team in the country for the second time in 2 weeks.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome into Sports Nightly, or tonight better referred to as the Kyle and Pat Show.
That's right.
Pat and Kyle Show?
That's I think that works. That has a nice ring to it.
Pat and Kyle Show, I like that.
I prefer my name first.
Kyle and Pat Show. Kyle and Pat Show.
Yeah.
Coming up in just a few minutes, the general manager for Husker football, Pat Stewart, will be here joining Kyle. And then we've got a different Pat Monahan, coming up in the Nebraska basketball hour, coming up in hour number 2. Did you do that on purpose?
Yes, everything I do is on purpose. There's no calculation to anything that I do. No, so we have Pat and Pat, a couple of great conversations. Can you believe it? The basketball didn't exist last night. Football is back.
Yes.
Football is back. So we don't have to talk about any losses to any rivals. Spring practice is coming on Saturday.
And we'll have football availability tomorrow, so we'll talk lots of football. Yeah, all coming up, and we'll have probably lots over the next month until spring game, because we'll have some availability. We'll have practices, and so the first practice on Saturday, we'll hear from the coordinators and the head coach tomorrow. Few players, so yeah, lots coming up here, and you'll dive into, I'm sure, all the acquisitions from the transfer portal, how all that went down here with Pat here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, interesting conversation we had, earlier today. Lucky to have him in here, but we go through what that process was like, to what the hierarchy of needs and how you look at it, because you could say as a fan outside looking in, okay, defensive line is definitely one on that list, or how do you view position groups? You knew you needed a quarterback going into that portal period, or is it best available? So we asked those questions and a lot more, and what he feels most confident in going into the spring.
I do want to talk about the game and all of that, the game at Iowa, but really quickly, Christopher had this in the ticker, but announced officially, we knew it was coming, but Brett Maher officially announced as the special teams coordinator, Nick Humphrey as the co-special teams coordinator, and Tyler Yelk as the safeties coach. So that coming out today. I'm sure Coach Rhule will talk about that tomorrow. But I thought it was interesting what Josh Martin had to say. He posted on his X today about both guys and had really nice things to say about both Brett Maher, about the special teams are in great hands with Brett Maher. But I thought it was really interesting what he said about Nick Humphrey, that one of the most impressive minds in all of college football, huge things ahead for the special teams at Nebraska. So he is full support and says the special teams in good hands with those two guys.
Yeah, they all did a really good job. I think Eck was officially announced with USC. Lincoln Riley finally came out and said he's our special teams and coaching linebacker, so that answers that age-old question that the thought was he probably wanted to coach a position group. But I think that the trio that was left over, which included Josh, who took that high school job, and for him that's a really good landing spot, and as he builds as a head coach and continues to build his resume, would you have two guys left that know a whole lot about special teams that have
and what was implemented last year?
Yeah, have that blueprint that Eckler had put in place. I said this with DB on his show yesterday. How does Brett command the room? How does he command? Because we know what Eckler's energy was, right? And also, like, when I compare and contrast, what does Rob Orich look like as opposed to John Butler? So having that year of experience for me to seeing how guys coach, knowing Brett was in a supplementary role as the specialists, the kickers, the punters, what does it look like now as he commands the room and has to teach not just the specialists but everybody in that special teams room? So I'm interested to see that in spring practice.
When we talk storylines going into it, that's another big one for sure to watch out for going into spring. Also coming out over the last hour, I'm sure if you're on social media, you've seen the video that has been circulating with the Iowa fan that got into the handshake line with Coach Hoiberg, but coming out from the Big Ten offices, they'll not pursue any kind of action, disciplinary action. And in fact, Iowa Athletics coming out and issuing an apology and saying that they will review their security protocols and try to be better for it. So actually taking some responsibility for it to make sure that doesn't happen again when there is a court storm situation there in Iowa City. But just an unfortunate situation, and that when that thing happens, I think everybody likes to see, and when a big time win happens for a program, I think people like to see the court storms, but want to make sure that the opposing teams are safe. And it's unfortunate that an incident happened last night, but hopefully moving forward, Iowa will make sure that they are improved in those measures.
Yeah, it's hard to say how you would react if somebody came after a bone-crushing loss, right?
Yeah.
All losses stink, but especially to your rival, you're holding on to a top 10 ranking. It's a big game for a lot of reasons. It's a quad one opportunity on the road. Fred's incredibly competitive. And to have somebody run out of the stands and then do a beeline directly to you with a camera right up to your face as you're going through the handshake line, I think a lot of us probably would respond with the same sort of anger. I'm sure Fred probably, in hindsight, regrets doing that, right? But when you're in the moment, it's hard to pull back when it's like a paparazzi when you're a celebrity walking around in L.A. when you're just trying to do your thing and somebody shoves a camera in your face and laughing at you. So there's a lot of things that just watching some of the extra videos too, the way the fans just spilled on the court, and Nebraska's players weren't necessarily. There wasn't a whole lot of security around them and things. So they'll get better for it. And it was already
pretty hostile towards Price, and so it just you would hope that, okay, if this is going to happen, you probably have a feeling that it's going to happen with Iowa and just what was transpiring with a top 10 win and the rivalry and all of that. You would hope that they would have had better plans in place. I know for a fact, I saw it happen with Nebraska. There was a couple of things that happened with in previous instances, like with Iowa women, that moving forward, when there was a situation that it might happen again, I've seen it in PBA. They have better measures in place that when that happened, and I have seen now when they think it might happen again, they get in place and make sure that they're taking care of the opposing team, because that's ultimately what it is. You got to make sure that the safety is there for the opposing teams and players.
Yeah, and that's why the fines exist. I don't necessarily know what the fines are in basketball. Football, they're pretty hefty, right? Because you're talking about the safety of the student athletes, and it's just a massive humanity all coming in at once. So coaches, and especially Price in that situation, right? Because there was just a lot of vitriol towards him the entire night, and you just don't know. It only takes one person to maybe he's had too many drinks to all of a sudden turn their attention towards Price. And, if you watch the video, his teammates, they surrounded him right away, right? So his teammates they thought ahead and made sure Price was okay. So luckily that was kind of the only thing that came out of it. And I think the Big Ten made the right decision saying, okay, in Iowa's got to do better in their security front, and Nebraska, they just sort of move on from it and on to the next game.
They were put in a bad situation. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm just saying, I mean, not act poorly, but Iowa comes here in a few weeks.
Yeah, it's another game. It ain't over yet, right?
So, hopefully PBA can give it back to Iowa. What's crazy to me is that Price's brother played there, and was...
well, their coach said they're both welcome back
had
anytime.
a heck of a career, and the fact that they were so mean to him, it just blows my mind, but whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, and for me, and I said this earlier today, I think we get all up in arms about what the student section did last night, but for me, that's every student section, right? It's not. I don't think it's necessarily exclusive to Iowa. There's student sections are pretty. For the most part, they're pretty nasty, and a lot of those situations when former players come back in the transfer portal age.
Yeah, but Kyle, they were coming after Price, so I don't like it.
That's right. You know what? And sure. But it's like, my thing is, it's not exclusive to Bryce Sanford.
I know.
He's going to be a pro. Like, he's going to be playing at the next level. And for me, it makes you stronger. To me, as an athlete, as a competitor like that, I'm sure he kind of thinks like, yeah, this is kind of cool in a way. Like, people, you're the main event in a way.
Well, just I guess quickly, because I know you'll dive into it with Coach Monahan here coming up in hour number 2, but disappointing. Again, just the turnovers, couldn't get a rebound secured, and just the physicality of Iowa really bothering Nebraska. Couldn't get into the offensive rhythm, and just felt like you let one slip away again last night.
Yeah, another slow start in the first half. I think they have to find some remedies for. I mean, they've been some really bad first halves in the last handful of games. Silver lining is this, Jess. I mean, you held Iowa to 33% shooting. In their 51 shots, they only made 17. You held them 6 of 23 from 3, and you turned them over 9 times going into half. So you had the turnover edge going into half. The big thing is, I mean, rebounding continues to hurt this team considerably. I mean, you look at the final numbers last night, offensive rebounding was 12-2, and then turnovers were even at 12 apiece. So you're giving away too many extra possessions.
Well, and at the end of the game, it wasn't like Iowa was really filling it up and scoring a bunch of points off of the offensive rebounds, but you were behind and you needed the ball back. Mm-hmm. And you gave up you needed to get the rebound to be able to go back and potentially score, tie it up, take the lead, and you didn't get the rebound to be able to do that.
I think it's a time for this team specifically where I feel like we're getting late in the year. They play small numbers in rotations. Max 8 guys, most nights 7 guys. Like, I think guys are a little tired physically and mentally. I think they just need to reset, because right now you're probably not getting your best play out of Rink Mast, out of Braden Frager, out of Jamarcus Long. Like, you need those guys, right? And I think it's a mental and physical reset where these guys need to kind of turn something on, and coaches also have to make adjustments, right? Things are a lot harder for Bryce Sanford. Things are a lot harder on that end of the floor to get fluidity and consistency because of how physical and how tough they're playing Florida out on the wings.
And teams are going to keep trying to do that because, it's worked in some games that teams have tried to come in and be physical, and it's, caused some havoc for the Husker offense. But I think it's a veteran group that they can learn from it, get better from it, and hopefully get some offensive rhythm once they dive into the film, because it's probably not going to be the last time they're going to see teams try to play defensively like that and be physical and try to take Price out of it.
Yeah, but it was another game, too. You shot 41%. You were 5 of 24 from 3. I mean, they were terrible.
And we said that from the start, this team has to make threes to be able to have success.
But the thing is, you're still in the game, right? You played terrible for 25 minutes against Purdue. You're a free throw. You should have won the game. If Rink hits a free throw, you probably win the game, right? Like, you've played terrible in stretches in the last handful of games, and you put yourself in situations to win. Like, Nebraska most nights probably didn't have any case to be in that game, right? But they're a possession away late, and you lose by 5 in a quad 1 opportunity on the road where you play your worst game in conference play. So things, and the schedule lightens up a little bit, but it starts with Penn State on Saturday, and we'll see if it's an angry team that comes out to PBA.
And Penn State getting beat on their home floor pretty handily by Rutgers. So hopefully Nebraska comes out and handles.
They played a
Penn
lot of teams
State
tough, though, Jess.
Saturday.
Michigan, Purdue, Illinois, all of them.
All right. Well, I know you'll talk a lot more, dive into the game a lot more with Pat Monahan here coming up in our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour in hour number 2 coming up here in just a few minutes. But coming up next, we're going to hear from Pat Stewart, the general manager of Husker football. And Husker fan softball season is back. The Nebraska Huskers are hitting the field and ready to bring the heat all spring long. Come experience every big swing, every strikeout, and every win at Bowlin Stadium. This is your chance to be part of the action and cheer on your Huskers as they compete in what is sure to be an unforgettable season. Grab your seats now at huskers.com/tickets, and let's pack the stands all season long. All right, going to step aside for a break, Pat Stewart coming up next.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Back here on Sports Nightly, and the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Kyle Crooks back with you, and we have plenty of sports to talk about. It's crazy. We're talking everything under the sun, and it's spring football time. We have football coming up this weekend. Spring practice starts on Saturday, and with that, we have the general manager of Nebraska football, and that is Pat Stewart. Joins us now here on the show. Pat, this is first time in the new radio studio,
first time
right?
in here, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's the first time that we've had an opportunity to do a formal interview. You did some stuff on signing day, but now I've had a chance to take a deep breath. I remember walking around here in January and just, I'm like, what do you think's going through Coach Rule's mind at this time? What's going through Pat Stewart's mind, your staff? Can you, I guess, put a 30,000-foot view on just what that short period of time was like for you on an everyday basis?
Yeah, it's controlled chaos. Everybody's dealing with the same situation. Everybody has to deal within the same rules, structure, or lack thereof sometimes, of how those decisions are made and who's available. And it's constantly pivoting to the next guy on your list, trying to get guys in as fast as possible to maybe be the first in line to get them. But yeah, it was a very hectic time. I think we ended up doing, as well as we could, and as well as we tried to be. We'll continue to evaluate those processes moving forward. But I think for the first go around, it was a good deal.
Mm-hmm. When you go into it, is there a hierarchy of position groups that, hey, we want to deal with this first, or does the market dictate of, okay, let's get best available?
Yeah.
How does that work when that kind of
That's a good
plays
question.
out?
I think one thing we want to look at first is where are our needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my background's in the NFL, so you always think about the draft versus free agency, right? You draft and develop players, and then you fill your needs in free agency where you have some gaps. So you first want to address the needs, and then as maybe something becomes available that you can find a difference maker, you want to go get that player as well. But I think the priority on it for us was going out and addressing needs first of all, and then from there, players we could add to the depth
Mm-hmm.
and enhance the depth that we already have on our roster. We would try to pivot to those guys.
Quarterback position, we all know that was a massive need for this team heading into the portal period. You go out and get your guy, and Anthony Calandria, and we touched on it a little bit with Coach Rule and how the whole process went, and you had a guy, and then he eventually lands at another spot. And then what was it about when you get Anthony Calandria here on campus? What was that like? What was that period like to get him signed pretty quickly?
Yeah, it happened pretty fast, right? I mean, everybody kind of knows, now the story. And I don't think that, in talking to some other people, I don't think that situation was unique to us, where you had a player kind of in the fold and then he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we get the contracts out as fast as we can, and it's up to them to sign. And a couple days came and the contract wasn't signed. You kind of realize you might have to pivot. That ended up happening to us. We moved fast. Keith, Logan, the rest of the staff did a great job of having a list ready to go of who those next available guys were going to be. And we were really lucky to get Anthony in here as fast as we could. And I think as soon, Coach Rules talked about it, as soon as you meet him and you kind of feel the vibe and the juice from him, that's going to be a guy that you at least want to explore even further, and had him here all day and kind of realized that was going to be the guy that we were going to go on.
What was the excitement level from when you guys have those conversations, Dana Holgerson and Matt Rule, of his skill set and what that brings now to you guys? He's a true dual threat guy. He is a legitimate playmaker that can win you a lot of games. When you look at him, and what are some of the thoughts of what you're getting in a guy like Anthony Calandria?
It's the skill set, it's the intangibles, it's the experience. He's got a lot of starting experience. So the first time that he gets hit, has to go back into the huddle and call a play, it's not the first time he's going to be doing that in a game situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something we were really attracted to. Obviously, the skill set kind of opens up a lot of different things. It makes the defenses have to prepare and hold them accountable and put them on the spot that, this is a dual threat guy that can do a couple of different things when he has the ball in his hands. It's just something that adds to, adds to the repertoire that we can use on game day.
When you go into spring and you bring in Danny Kalen, TJ Lateef is already here. Do you guys view this as a kind of a true competition when you head into spring ball with those three guys?
Yeah, I think all of our positions in the spring are going to be competitions, right? Like it's nothing's given, everything's earned. So it's guys have to come out there and prove themselves every day, and that's how we approach every position.
How about defensive line? When you look at needs of this team, how high up? I mean, you get 2 interior guys that feel like are going to make a big impact right away. Development of what you already have. Right. What's the confidence in that level, and just how hard did you guys go at that position in the portal?
Extremely hard, extremely aggressive. It's one of those things where you're kind of at the mercy of what's available and how fast you can get guys in and who you can get in the quickest. And we were really lucky to get the guys that we did because the market was extremely high at that position. And again, it's one of those things you have to pivot very fast once guys start coming off the board and trying to find the best complements to what you already have on the roster. And we feel that's what we found with Owen and with Jashir.
Yeah, and is that a position that's tough financially? You might sometimes have to, because there's so many guys that are trying to get premier defensive linemen, right? Where you might have to throw a little bit more financially to secure a guy like on the defensive or offensive line in the trenches.
Sure, it's really that way at every position in this market. But the defensive line this year especially, I just think football is a copycat world, right? So the teams that have success, you kind of see what they're doing, and that drives up the marketplace for that position. And that was something we saw with the defensive line this year. Yeah,
Chatting with GM Pat Stewart, talking Nebraska football. Spring practice is starting this weekend on Saturday, talking all things transfer portal. First chance to chat with him after the craziness. When you look at the offense as a whole and the running back position for you guys, it seems like, and watching Mekhi Nelson all year, his temperament, what he did in the bowl game, Isaiah Mosey coming back, there's a lot of names in that running back room. It seems like you guys are really confident with that group that you have coming in.
Yeah, I would say it's the same level of confidence we had last year, right? Like this time of year, I just got here a year ago, probably in March, and I remember at that time there was a spring portal, and kind of a lot of the things I was hearing was running back. We kind of held tight and had a belief in what we had on our roster, and it's kind of the same situation right now. We're ready to go with any of those guys.
Is the evaluation that you have a true number one running back in that group, a 1A, guys that can, 2 guys, maybe 3 guys that could be a number one running back for you?
Like I said previously, like I think every position's a competition, right? So we'll find out during the spring who that one is, and hopefully we have a 1B and hopefully we have a 1C, and those 3 guys can replicate the great season EJ had.
Offensive line, I love what you guys brought in on the offensive line. Veteran guys who were starters at big-time schools, and you supplement with the guys that are already coming back. And we saw the emergence of Elijah, at left tackle. Justin Evans had such a solid year, and then you bring in those 3 guys on the offensive line. What can you tell me about what sort of the evaluations went into that position?
Yeah, I think that's one thing we wanted to really enhance this year was just really the depth, right? So whether you were going to add guys who are going to be in the pipeline for the future, or whether you're going to add guys who had that starting experience that you talked about, that's something we really prioritized. We wanted to get guys who kind of fit our mentality, just big, strong, physical, tough guys that we can rely on when it's 3rd and 1 and we need to pick up a first down, or protect the quarterback in passing situations. So those are guys that we targeted pretty early on, moved really quickly on, and we feel really good about.
What's Jeep Wade like to work with in those conversations?
Yeah, like all the coaches are great. Like, guys like Jeep, I don't know if we close on the guys that we closed on if Jeep wasn't working as hard as he did. And it was fun to work with him in this process.
Yeah.
And it's already starting to look that way in recruiting too. So.
And then, wide receiver position, it's interesting. You add a guy like Quasi Gilmer from UCLA, we've seen a couple times, had a big game in this stadium 2 years ago. He's somebody who could certainly be a number 1 target. We know what you have coming back. And then there's guys like the Quinn Clarks, the Keelan Smiths. I keep thinking, we didn't see a whole lot of Jeremiah Jones, but man, that's a guy who factors in. Demetrius Bell, like there's a lot of guys in that room that can factor in. I feel like you didn't have to go as hard at that position because, one, there's guys coming back that are proven guys, but there's so much depth there at wide receiver.
Yeah, I think that was another one of our focuses too, right, was retaining the guys that we already had on the roster. And, I think Coach Rule said it like there is no tampering anymore. Like everybody's, a target for somebody. Yeah. And we were pretty proactive in getting a lot of those guys back. And being able to add Quasi to that group is really helpful, and we're expecting big things from him and that whole room, to be honest with you. And DeKeel does a great job coaching him.
I think what's incredibly commendable from what the effort of what you guys put forth, and we like to think about what are the new shiny toys that are coming in. The retention that you guys had on this roster is pretty remarkable. When I think about it, from the wide receiver position, guys that we have no idea as fans and casual observers of who might have been close to going into the portal but never actually did, guys that were reported to go into the portal but eventually came back. What goes into that process of sitting down with guys and saying, hey, I know you want to see your options, but this can still be a good place for you?
Yeah, I think it's really a product of the system, right? Like where when the portal happens, a lot of these players will look at what their role was last season instead of what their role is going to be in the future. And it's kind of laying that out to them and letting them know, like, you don't need to leave to get that chance. Make every opportunity you have here and you'll get everything you want. And that's kind of what we talk to guys about. And ultimately the decision's up to them and their representation, what they want to do. But fortunately, I think a lot of our guys who are here realize what we have going here. And, you don't need to go chase, fortune somewhere else where you can build it here. So that's kind of what I lay out to guys and the coaches when they talk to them, and kind of Coach Ulrich, when he got here, met with every defensive player and kind of laid out a vision for what they were going to be with this team. And I think we saw a lot of those guys come back that probably could have opportunities somewhere else, but they chose to stay here.
Yeah, one name that stands out to me is Willis McGahee, and getting him back on this roster. We're chatting with GM Pat Stewart. Spring football starts this weekend on Saturday. You go and get Anthony Jones from UCLA. But in terms of, I guess, that hierarchy and list of positions of need, but trying to find a high-level pass rusher, I'm sure that's a hard guy to get on the market, right? It's a lot of cash that it takes to bring in a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a premium position, right? It's right up there. It's the quarterback version of the defense, right, where you're going to pay a premium to get pass rushers. So if you have some guys on your roster that you think you can get production out of, let's bring them back and see what we can do. And you're still always evaluating every market. There's just, we have really good resources, but there are times when you have to make decisions based on what you have available and based on how many other needs you have to fill. So yeah, we're hopeful that a lot of these guys can step up and become, pieces of that pass rush.
All right, good stuff. First part of my conversation with the GM for Husker football, Pat Stewart. Really can't thank him enough for coming in studio. A long conversation. We touched on a lot of different topics and, of course, what it took to put together this transfer portal class, but keep the guys that you already have on your roster and want to continue to develop. So still a lot more to do coming up in that conversation with Pat Stewart, and we'll continue it right after this.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Find a truck that's ready for any task at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab 4x4. Visit us in-store or shop online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must own and trade in a 2012 or newer vehicle. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Kyle Crooks back on Sports Nightly. Very good conversation with Pat Stewart, touching on all offseason topics with the GM for Nebraska football and what those couple weeks were like in January and what he thinks of the talent brought in and what his expectations are for the spring. Here's the second part of my conversation with Pat Stewart. What were the conversations like with Coach Orich? I'm sure you worked with him closely to bring in guys defensively and bring in cornerstone pieces like, Owen Chambliss, one of the first guys that you signed who has an understanding of what it takes in his system, McDougal as well, who comes over. Just how important was the constant conversation with him to say, okay, this is what I need for my defense, my system?
Yeah, I think the first time I talked to Rob, I was standing in my backyard and we talked about some guys he already had, earmarked as potential, like guys who he knew were getting opportunities or looks elsewhere, and maybe they could be guys we would be interested in. And we have a team of remote scouts that kind of work through the season, watching potential portal players, so we're able to pivot as fast as possible, that we have some baseline work done on a lot of these guys. And Dwayne and Owen both were guys that we already had kind of earmarked here that we would have some level of interest if that became something we needed to explore at the linebacker or safety position. And I think it's really important for us to have guys who have that familiarity in Rob's system, that they can become, kind of coaches on the field and kind of help teach the defense to the rest of the guys.
How much do you feel you improved to the second level of that defense? I think that's probably one of the strongest things that you guys upgraded in the portal was that linebacker position. The group of guys you brought in there, what's your level of confidence in that bunch?
I'd say first, like bringing V9 back, super important for us, right? And Dawson Merritt got injured towards the end of last season, and that was something he had to work through. But just having the opportunity and really with Coach Orich being able to identify Owen and Dexter both as guys that we would potentially have interest in, and being able to bring them into the fold at that second level of the linebacker spot, like we were really excited to add those guys. And then in the safety room with Dwayne and Jason Shiggs and, kind of bringing some added pieces to what we already have on the roster,
Those safety guys that you brought in, what kind of physicality do they bring with? What's kind of the prototype safety or secondary player that you want to bring into this program? What does that look like?
Guys who are interchangeable, guys who can play post and play split safety, guys who are able to cover but also help in run support. Like those are guys that we're always going to have interest in, right? And the more you can do defensively from the safety position, the more versatile you can become in your scheme. So we're always looking to add like those chess pieces that can kind of do multiple things for us.
Mm-hmm. The newest signing class, the 26 class, I mean, it's hard to play as a true freshman at this level, especially when there's guys that are sticking around now because you're making money. How many of these true freshmen you think can make an instant impact on the field come September?
Yeah, hopefully more than a couple of them. We hope so, right? Like, because you bring guys in with there's really not a lot of long-term vision with team building at the college level right now, just because guys can transfer whenever, right? So when you bring guys in, you kind of have to have a role identified for them. Like, what are they going to do for us right now, right? What they can do for us in the future is great, and then if they develop and reach their full potential with us, that's what we're looking for. But we're really looking to bring guys in with that vision to add to us right now. And we think quite a few of these guys can do something for us. We'll see when the pads go on here in a couple of days if that's going to really come to fruition, and then during training camp and see if they take that next step and make themselves game ready. But yeah, I think when you make an investment in a player, you want a return on investment. So like all these guys are going to have every opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you bring a guy in, and unfortunately with the climate we're in, you don't know if they're going to be here in 2 or 3 years, right?
Correct.
Because it's a year-to-year proposition with a lot of these guys. I think 2 guys specifically that I'm fascinated about on the outside looking in, Jamal Rule and Danny Odom. When I look at those 2 guys specifically, I know Jamal was here. He was with doing some ball practices, right?
Yep.
And Danny's here for the spring. I guess those 2 guys specifically, I feel like, to me, they really pop in this class.
We're really excited to have both of them, right? And they were guys that I remember watching them when I first got here last spring, and I've been telling some people, like, it's really not that hard to switch your eyes from watching pro tape to high school tape when you have guys like that who pop off the film, and both those guys were guys who popped. So we're really excited to have them, and, I don't want to go into too many names, but, like, there's quite a few other guys as well that were in that same boat where it's like you can kind of see it pretty quickly that they're going to be able to add something to the roster.
How did your NFL experience help you with this? With just sort of I know we mentioned it a little bit off the top, but the craziness, there's a little bit more structure in the NFL than what you're dealing with now. So it's harder. This job's harder than kind of the experience you've had in the NFL.
I don't know if I'd quantify it as harder. It's just different, right? It is a faster paced. There's a lot of gray. In the NFL, you have an established market where you can kind of structure where guys fall into that, where they're going to get paid. Here, there's a lot of things going on that you're told different things from different places, and you can't always, verify what you're being told. So yeah, it's just different. I wouldn't say it's harder. It's not, it's just a very different process from what goes on in the NFL. There's a lot of similarities now, right? Like the valuation side of things, you kind of have to put the value on the player and kind of hold to it. And you really have to determine your walk-away point. Like that's really the biggest issue right now for, I think, any team, is realizing, like, who do you break the bank for and who do you, like, pull back on and say, like, we can go find another player and fill that spot. We don't need to overextend ourselves that much.
Chatting with GM Pat Stewart during the year, a thing that Matt said when we were talking about TJ Lateef, about how you were very open, honest, communication was always there, that, there's a good chance we're going to bring somebody else in and have that competition. But having open communication as games are being played throughout the season, is that always happening in September, October? Like, hey, this is where I feel like we see you in the future, and this is with the financial piece of this. So not all these conversations are being had after the bowl game, right? They're all year long.
It really depends on how the player wants to handle it.
Okay.
I don't want to get involved with a player who's focused on the season, right? And I don't want to put anything in their head that might not be there in the future if something else happens. So a lot of these guys, we started talking to immediately after the last game of the season. And we had talked internally about priorities and who we want to keep around and those sort of things. But a lot of the discussions with the players and their representatives, unless their representatives were proactive ahead of time and reached out to me, I would talk to a representative. But we really keep the players out of it until, the end of the season.
Yeah. So for you, and let me ask you this too, the one portal period in January, the system is what it is. You guys are going to do what you have to do to be successful in whatever the system is. Do you like the one portal period in January? Would you prefer to maybe see it in the spring? I know Coach Rule has said that. What's maybe when you guys collaborate and talk GMs around the conference, what do you think is the sweet spot there?
Yeah, evaluation? I think, as anything is, you kind of do business as it's being done, right? So if the portal is going to be in the middle of the season, we'll adjust and do it then. But ideally, I think it's beneficial for the players, like we said previously, like for them to kind of recognize what their role is on the next team rather than what it was in the last team. And I think everybody having a better sense of like the lay of the land, you would probably see far fewer guys get into the portal if they kind of knew what their spot was on their current team and you were able to start that team building process a little bit later on in the off season.
How about helping some of the guys that might not necessarily have the role they want here? I think of a guy like Kenneth Williams, such a great guy, right? And it's such a big piece, but you could tell he probably wanted more to be a running back somewhere else. But helping those guys along to find their next stop, like how important is that in your position to do right by the guys that have been here, but maybe the role's just not there? Yeah,
I think Coach Rule said before, like once there are guys, right? So they're always going to be Huskers. We always want the best for them. I think it's our responsibility to be honest with them and kind of let them know what the idea is for them the following season. And if they could get something more somewhere else, like help them. And it's no different than being a reference on somebody's resume, right? Like anybody who ever called me about Kenneth or any of our guys, they were going to get a good recommendation. I was honest, but it's easy to be honest about good people, and guys like Kenneth are easy to talk about. So those are always going to be guys that we help out and always look back fondly on their time here.
We do the 2-hour sports talk show every night, and we always talk about, this is our storyline heading into spring. What are you most excited about in spring? I mean, you're probably going to say, I can't wait to watch everything, right? But
it's the truth, though. I mean, we added guys at a lot of different spots. We have some freshmen in here that you want to see how they perform. Obviously, the quarterback position is going to be what everybody talks about, and see how our running backs develop. See how the new offensive line works with Coach Wade and Coach Teasley. And just kind of go from there and kind of see how the team develops over the course of the next couple months.
What was the Danny Kaelin situation of him coming back? How did that sort of originate?
Yeah, I think it was one of those things. He's kept in touch with a lot of guys on this team, right? So I think there was always some communication there, and he's local, and I think he always would like to be close to home no matter where you're from, right? So it was something when he became available, the conversations happened pretty quick, and we were able to get something accomplished.
Yeah, I think that's a cool story to be able to get him back into the fold. You're excited, I'm sure, for an actual spring game this year?
I mean, like last year, we had the Husker games were fun, and we did have some scrimmaging at the end of that. But, it'll be good to see these guys out there and in full go and get everything taken care of.
I'm sure you're excited to get back out there on the practice field and watch these guys. I know they've been getting their workouts in and getting ready for spring practice, but season will be here before you know it. And Pat, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
I know it was a crazy couple of weeks for you, and we like to shorten it into a couple of weeks, but it's been a long evaluation period for a lot of these guys.
It's ongoing, and it's my job kind of evolves as the time of the year.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody, like I said, Keith Logan, those guys, Anthony Johnson, Taylor Richards, Kyle Fisher, Devin Hike, Matt Pierce. They do a great job in the evaluation process. Avery getting everything organized for us for the visits. Des Towie does a great job for us. So those guys do a lot of the work that help it come to fruition.
Yeah.
And the coaches as well. Like the coaches are super helpful in the evaluation process, because at the end of the day, you don't want to give coaches somebody they don't want to play with, right? So there's a lot of feedback and a lot of opinions that go about this.
I can only imagine the opinions.
A lot of hot takes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Pat Stewart joining us in studio. Pat, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy some spring football. We'll see you out at the practice
field. Thanks for having me.
All right, that is Nebraska football GM. That is Pat Stewart. Appreciate him joining us here on Sports Nightly. Back with more of the show right after this.
The Honda Accord from Woodhouse Honda is more than just a reliable sedan. It's your everyday upgrade. Lease the 2025 Honda Accord LX for $199 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Shop in-store or online at woodhousehonda.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $3,000 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250127. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 1, Sports Nightly. Kyle, you've earned your keep today. I feel like I have not done anything today.
I talked to, I'm talking to a lot of Pats today. Pat Stewart, Pat Monahan.
Yep. Pat, instead of Sports Nightly, it's Pat Hour 1, Pat Hour 2.
If your name's Pat, there's a good chance we can have you in studio. No, it's fun. Appreciate Pat Stewart for joining us and talking. I mean, it was a pretty chaotic January for him, and we think we condense it down to those couple weeks, but his team's worked incredibly hard to get this roster together. I know he's eager. We're all eager to be out there on the practice field and see it.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating stuff. I will earn my keep tomorrow because you will be traveling down to Arlington, so I'll carry the torch tomorrow. But we do have Husker football availability tomorrow heading into spring football. First practice coming up on Saturday, so we'll hear from the head coach, coordinators, a few players, so we'll be able to bring you that. And I had an absolutely fantastic conversation with the freshman phenom, Alexis Jensen, that we'll be able to bring you. I laughed so much. She has such a great personality. So we'll bring you that here tomorrow night as well, leading into 8 o'clock tip for Nebraska women's basketball as they hit the West Coast. So 7:30 pregame with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greesh. And again, we've talked about it. They need to stop the skid and try to get something rolling here at the end of the season.
You think of it as a new season. Every single time you hit the floor, is it you have a chance to change momentum, that the talent's there. So just got to get it turned around. And we know Amy Williams will have them ready.
All right, so that's going to do it for me. I didn't do much tonight, but Kyle's going to take it the rest of the way here with the Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour with Pat Monahan. Enhance your grilling game with the Nebraska-made grill from M Grills. Wood pellet and charcoal grills made to last with Nebraska values. Check them out at mgrills.com, a proud supporter of Husker Athletics. All right, the Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour coming up next. Keep it here.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's time for the Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
14-16 to go in Iowa City. The inbounds pass, Jamarcus to Hoiberg. And now on a curl, and Sanford Square shoots, scores! 3-ball Sanford. He's got the single-season three-point record. Just passed up Kerry Cohorn, his 90th three of the year. And that ties this puppy up at 39. Mass comes right on the dribble. Coming to it is Hoiberg, takes the handoff. Stops elbow left extended. Hoiberg bounces in deep left lane line. Mask's got it. Puts it up and in to give Nebraska the lead at 41-39. 41-41. Point blank. Frager jams that puppy with two hands. There's your dunk of the game by our amigos dunk. And now what a huge goal.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in, latest edition of the Nebraska Basketball Show. Kyle Crooks with you, and as always, the Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Talking all things Nebraska hoops. Talk about the game last night. Of course, didn't go the Huskers' way, but that's sports. Win, lose, you talk about it, move on, get ready for the next one. Penn State coming up on Saturday. We'll have some of the members of the 96 NIT championship team. Jessica Coody chatted with them. We'll also have Bryce McGowens on the show in the fourth segment. So we'll have a flurry of interviews from what was a busy weekend of Husker hoops and some former players coming back. With that, we have a very special guest in studio for the second time this year, assistant coach Pat Monahan. Coach, good to see you again. I know it was a short flight last night, but it wasn't a fun flight for sure. What were some of the observations after a tough one last night?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we didn't play up to our standard for 40 minutes. Iowa had a lot to do with that. I thought, I mean, last night was probably the first time where the crowd affected us a little bit. But, I mean, like I talked about, I think a few weeks ago when I was on, or a month ago, I mean, we're going to face adversity throughout the year. And, I mean, we got to continue to get better. And hopefully with the mature group that we have with our older veteran guys, we can do that. I believe that, and I mean, we got a really good basketball team. We really do. And I mean, heading into these last 5 regular season games and before the Big Ten tournament, I mean, we just want to keep getting better here these next few weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left here, and it's crazy to think because we feel like we've been in the season for a long time, but there's still a lot of time left to go and a lot of things to be figured out in terms of the Big Ten and NCAA tournament seeding and all those things that fans like to talk about. But I'm looking at the numbers from last night, and I'll start with a positive. And for coaches, after a game like last night, you're saying, oh, whatever. But Iowa shot only 33%. They were 17 of 51 from the floor. You forced 9 turnovers going into half, 12 for the game. I guess the big difference is Iowa capitalized off of turnovers and Nebraska just didn't.
Yeah, and I mean, the way Iowa plays, I mean, it's a possession-by-possession game. I mean, you look at I was looking at this morning with Illinois, Purdue, Iowa. Their pace offensively is in the 300s, and that's where the possession by possession matters. And we had some good looks, uncontested looks, where we just missed. We didn't knock down. Where I mean, if we can get one of those shots to fall, especially in the second half, with 6 minutes to play, I mean, it gives us a breathing room for that next possession, because our guys did a pretty good job for the most part of guarding. They were locked in, and yeah, we had a few breakdowns. But I mean, when you play a team like that, like Iowa, where they squeeze you, I mean, you got to be really efficient on the other end of the floor on the offensive side, and we just couldn't convert the way we needed to last night.
Physical nature that it takes to play in this league, especially, and you probably know where I'm going with this, with rebounding, and that's the big discussion around this. How much is it just wrong spot, wrong time, having to be more physical, positioning? When you look at the tape, initial glance, what's the genesis of the rebounding issues that have been there?
Well, number one, I think the biggest thing for us is, I mean, we're switching consistently in our defense. And, I mean, we're a top 10 defensive team. And, obviously, I mean, that's on the defensive end is what has allowed us to have the season we've had, too, this year, and be in every game that we've played. So, I mean, being in constant rotations, it's going to have some guys in some different spots at the end of the possession where, yeah, I mean, our guards are going to be going against some bigs where we got to be able to hit. We got to do a better job of rebounding down. Teams that shoot a lot of threes, long rebounds come into play, and it's just a constant emphasis that we got to continue to emphasize moving forward. And yeah, when you give up a couple offensive rebounds to a team like Iowa, to a team like Purdue, to a team like Illinois, where, I mean, there's pace of play on the offensive sides in the 300s. It's possession by possession. You don't get that extra. You give up an extra possession on the offensive glass. Well, yeah, it's going to mirror you a lot more than it is against a team that's going to be a faster paced team with more possessions in the game.
Yeah, I think that's good context around it. Just the high level of switching you guys are doing and put certain guys in positions to have to rebound. And that's what makes Sam so fascinating, right? The high number of, I don't know if he still does, but for a long portion of the season led the team in defensive rebounding. And he's a guy has become sort of a glue in that rebounding aspect as a smaller guy out on the floor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why we talk about it's by committee. We got to rebound down by committee. And I think as the season goes, we got to continue to dig in and tighten up and understand the meaning of those possessions, because here in March and postseason it starts to become a half court game. You got to be able to execute in the half court on both sides of the floor, and if we can do that, I really believe that we're going to set ourselves up and be in position to win it every single night.
Yeah, and credit Iowa, right? They watch film, they make adjustments. I mean, they had a really good defensive game plan last night. There weren't many open looks, and sometimes you run into a team that's, they bought in last night for sure on the defensive end. Adjustments moving forward in terms of, I guess, what do you see and why it was so tough, I guess, last night for you guys to get open looks?
Well, I think their pressure, number one, they did a great job of having ball pressure. Number two, obviously, I mean, they were physical with us off the basketball, and I think for us, with accumulation of that, and like I said, the crowd, it was one of those nights. And at the end of the day, I mean, we understand that we got to continue to play better on that side of the ball. But I mean, it's college basketball, right? Like Texas Tech, they beat Arizona at Arizona, then they lose last night at Arizona State. I think the biggest thing is constantly keeping your team ready and prepared for every single day. And for us, we just felt like their physicality, they were the more desperate team. I mean, they were coming off a 2-game losing streak of losing at Maryland, and then basically getting throttled by Purdue at home in front of us. They needed a win against us, against a top 10 team, a quality team like us. And like I said, the more desperate team last night won.
And I look at it, and some fans probably don't want to hear it, right? It was a struggle offensively, shot the three terribly last night, right? 5 of 24. Another slow first half. You're only down 5 at half. Kale hits that three. You only lose by 5 on the road in a game that was probably the worst game of the year for the Huskers, especially offensively. In a quad one sellout road game, you're in it down the stretch. That's the thing, is like, we want to think doom and gloom, but as bad as Nebraska played in all reality, I mean, the game's right there too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's the thing about this league, and especially about a team like Iowa, where I mean, you're going to have a limited number of possessions because of just how they play. They make you play deep in the clock, and for us, like we needed to get out and run with some opportunities. We had some open looks, especially from 3 early in the clock. We didn't make. And then when you don't make those types of shots, when you play against a team like Iowa, then it becomes even more important to value possession. But overall, we had a chance. We had the ball with a minute to play, down 3, and we just couldn't execute down the stretch. And we had our opportunities, and we got to learn from it and grow from it. And just continue to move forward.
That's what I think. What's interesting is, the Purdue game, how poorly it went in the first half, down 22 and down 9 with 2 minutes left. And here's Nebraska, free throw away from winning that game. Iowa can't shoot, down the stretch. Here's Nebraska. So I think that's a sort of a silver lining from that game. I want to ask you about Price and what defenses are doing. We talked about the offense as a whole, but how tough is it right now because he's the top of the scouting report, what adjustments need to be made there, I guess, without giving up any secrets to opponents, to maybe try to make things a little bit easier for Price?
Yeah, I think we just got to continue to put him in different situations to help him get some early free looks. I mean, he got a couple looks in transition yesterday early in the game. He hit one. He hit one in the second half late. Like, he had a couple good looks. He just didn't knock down. But throughout the course of the game, I mean, there's things that here we'll do to move forward to help him. And there's some different things that we're going to show him that he can improve on, especially when guys are basically not helping off of him and chasing him hard. Some different things that he can do to improve his catches and then play with a little more in space with the basketball too. So we'll adjust to that. And Bryce is a really good player. I mean, for him to do what he's done consistently throughout the entire year, especially on the offensive end, and the way that his ability to move without the basketball. I mean, he's been a big value to us, and we'll continue to do a good job to help him.
Chatting with assistant coach Pat Monahan here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. How do you think he dealt with the emotion of last night? He said he didn't hear the chants and all that stuff, but it's hard to say, okay, this is not in the back of my mind. He's a human being. How do you, from your perspective, how do you think he dealt with it last night?
You know what I mean? I thought he dealt with it the best that he could. I mean, I don't think he got rattled from it. I don't think Bryce goes about his business the same way every single day, and that's what's allowed him to be the player that he is. I mean, he goes in a professional manner, just on his daily habits, and Bryce knows regardless of what people are going to say, and I mean, I don't think he really got rattled from it. From that standpoint, he's an unbelievable teammate. I know his teammates had his back throughout the whole night, but I mean, we'll continue to learn from it and grow from it, and here moving forward.
Yeah, I think he's extremely mature, just from the outside looking in, and if anybody's going to be able to deal with that, it's certainly Bryce. And the good thing is, Iowa's coming to town a little bit later in the year, so you'll have them again. What are some of the things you're seeing from Rink Mass, and maybe what defenses are doing to try to take away what we saw maybe early in Big Ten play? Yeah,
I mean, more teams are pressuring him a little bit, especially away from the basket a little bit more. And I think maybe it's taken away maybe some of his ability to pass a little bit and find cutters. But with Rink too, I mean, we got to continue to put him in spots to be successful. And I mean, he's had some good looks, especially from shooting the basketball, right? Like, we believe in Rink. I mean, Rink's is a really, really good player on both sides of the ball. He is our leader of our team. He's great with our team as far as his communication and his message every single day to our guys. And I think Rink, like, he's just got to continue to go out there and believe in himself and his confidence. And he's a really, really good basketball player.
How much did the foul trouble last night sort of hurt the momentum of that game? I think, looking at it, watching his help defense, the way that he's able to stay vertical, not foul, and helping on baseline drives and things like that is just such a difference maker on the defensive end, and why you guys are so good on that end. But did it hurt the overall flow of what you guys wanted to do when maybe you had to take him out? Yeah, I mean, obviously when you take a guy like Rink out with his ability to post up, his ability to pass, his ability to shoot, you're going to be at a disadvantage at times on the floor. But I mean, there was no flow to the game yesterday. You know what? You're right.
At the end of the day, so but that's Big Ten basketball, and I think being able to execute in the half court, we'll continue to find ways to do that. And I thought our guys handled the adversity with no flow throughout the game, and I mean, credit to Iowa, they made a couple more plays than we did. Yeah,
and in the end, right there, we just couldn't pull it out. 57-52 was the final score last night. Appreciate assistant coach Pat Monahan for joining us on the Nebraska Basketball Show. We continue with more of the show right after this.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Lease the 2025 Cadillac Lyriq Luxury 3 for $699 a month for 24 months and 10,000 miles per year. Or receive up to $8,000 in savings on the 2025 Cadillac XT5 Luxury. Shop Woodhouse Cadillac today. With approved credit, tax title license extra. First payment $299 doc fee due at signing. Subject to current rebates and inventory. Stock number KK250401 is courtesy transportation vehicle with 2,649 miles. Stock number KK250527 is courtesy transportation vehicle with 1,323 miles. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Back here on the Nebraska Basketball Show, assistant coach Pat Monahan here in studio with myself, Kyle Crooks, and fans. Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We'll continue to break down a little bit of last night's game and look ahead. Penn State coming to town as the Huskers are back at home at PBA. Sellout with Penn State coming to town. So again, looking back to last night, I just want to sort of break it down a little bit. And I think Cale Jacobson, too, and the way that I've looked at him the last handful of games and of course, he had the big three to end the first half, but every single time he's out on the floor, and I think we've talked about this before, but he brings a calm demeanor. One, he's great on the defensive end, but brings a sense of calmness, and he always seems to hit 2 or 3 big threes a game.
Yeah, and I mean, he's done that all season for us. He has that calmness about him. I mean, we expect that every night from him, and we expect his leadership and, I mean, his ability to think and play and process. And I think that's what's allowed him to be a really, really valuable piece to us this year.
You look at Braden Frager, too, and such a young guy. I mean, he's reclassified, came here when he was 17, right? And this year he's had the ups and had the ankle injury that sort of put him on the shelf for a little bit and had such a great start to Big Ten play. What are you seeing from him right now? It feels like maybe he's going through it a little bit, but it seems like he'll eventually get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, with like any freshman, I mean, they're going to have their ups and downs. Even though he was in the program last year and practiced all last year, I mean, it's different when you play, right? And with Braden, I mean, with the performances that he had, especially through first half of the season, I mean, he's moved up on scouting reports. So coming in off the bench and being an impact guy and changing the game, I mean, there's guys in that other locker room that are emphasizing that. So for him for us to constantly help him understand that and the importance of it, that's him continue to grow, continue to learn. But he's been great. He's been great throughout the entire year, and like all our guys, we're trying to get them better here the next 3 weeks, heading into Big Ten play and then March Madness.
What was Fred's message, I guess, from what you could share last night in post game, talking to the guys in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Coach, Coach was upset from the standpoint of. We weren't kind of who we were. We kind of got out physical. We got, if you want to say, out toughed a little bit from that standpoint. And like I said earlier here, like I think the crowd rattled us a little bit. Whereas, I mean, we've played in other environments where we've handled our poise, but we just felt like we didn't handle our poise. But Fred's the ultimate leader, and our guys, everybody in our program follows Coach. And I think from that standpoint, I mean, that's why we're in the position we are. And that's, I mean, we've had a stretch here of playing, I mean, top half teams in the league here, and I mean, we've had an opportunity to win every single one of them. But when you play really good teams, it's going to go one way or the other, and that's why we got to continue to get better here.
What are some of the challenges, I think, from these 2-day preps that you guys have had from a coaching standpoint? Because you have the scout guys, I'm sure, in shoot-around seem like they're good. Shoot-around's a hard indicator to say whether it's going to be a good, or you can have a great shoot-around and be flat as a board once the game actually starts. But from a coaching perspective, getting the guys ready to go, like, hey, you have to be mentally and physically sharp 2 days later after fighting and Saturday on a Tuesday, you got to be ready to go on the road. These 2-day turnarounds got to be pretty hard in league play.
Right. Oh yeah, it's very hard in league play, and especially in a league like the Big Ten. The biggest thing is really trying to get our guys to understand from the more so the mental standpoint when we go through the next day of walkthrough and our script of putting in our offense and our defense, going in for the game plan where we're probably not going body on body because we just came off a big game the day before. So for us, it's really preparing our guys from that standpoint. And listen, like you got to keep improving and keep staying sharp with your skill set. And our guys have done a good job of that, and we have a pretty good routine here of our prep going into those 2-day preps with our guys. And most teams around the country nowadays at this time of year, like you're not going long anyway, live on live, body on body, very long, especially here towards the end of February.
Yeah, I would imagine that the practice plan alters considerably this time of year. I mean, you guys especially too are getting set to, in a couple weeks, to towards the end of the month, head out west. That's a tricky trip late in the year. So as coaches, I'm sure you work with your strength and conditioning staff. Fred does. You guys all do. But the plan has to alter significantly when you hit February, March, of how you're working these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and like our program with just our sports scientists, and I mean, Fred's big on that workload, and I think that's a big part of here moving forward, especially with when you get into Big Ten play late in the season when everybody's sore, everybody's banged up, but it's how can you get your body ready for that next day, that next game, more so physically and mentally.
And let me ask you this. I mean, your experience in hoops, what does it take for a team to peak in March? Is it more of a mental thing than a physical? Because everybody's tired, right? Everybody's banged up. Some are luckier than others in the injury department. Is it more of a mental thing than a physical thing for teams to peak in March?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, right? Like you got to stay confident. I mean, like we woke up today. I mean, we're 11-4 in the Big Ten and 22-4 overall, with a 2-game homestand coming up. And for us, we got to constantly remind ourselves where we at and how we got to this point. I mean, one game should never just define who we are as a team or as a program. But for us, like I mentioned before, I mean, we got to continue to paint the picture for our guys of, hey, what have we done to get to this point right now and put ourselves in position to be in the top 4 right now with the Big Ten and continue to control what we want to control here moving forward. So yeah, on both sides of it, of being mentally painting that picture, but then also physically of getting your rehab, continue developing your skill and continue to getting better at what we want to execute on the floor on both sides.
Yeah, you make a good point. And all things considered, Nebraska's in a really, really good spot now here for the rest of the season. I'd like to get your opinion on some of the stars on the other side. Bennett Sturtz, what is it about him that makes him such a special player?
I mean, he does an unbelievable job. I mean, last night he did an unbelievable job on both sides of the basketball. His ability to, number one, play 38 minutes a game in the Big Ten and have the ball in your hands 95% of the game on the offensive end. That number one, that's a lot of conditioning.
38 minutes of game is crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild.
For sure. And for him to do that consistently night in and night out, you got to give him credit. But that's also what Coach McCollum's always done throughout his entire career. He's always had a point guard who's had the ball in his hands for 38 minutes a game.
Yeah. I mean, he played 40 last night, and so he had 25, and he drew that big foul on Sam late in the game. Just his ability. He's just one of those players that you hate to play against but would love to have. Just one of those, when you see some of the, especially the young stars in the league, you saw Keaton Wagler specifically, and you see a guy like Braden Smith of Purdue. Like, what stands out as some of the star guards in this league? Kind of a common trend between them, you think?
I think they go about their business the same way. If you look at them, and they're confident, they trust their work, they believe in their teammates. And I think like that's what allows them to just go out and play and be who they are. I mean, you look at Braden Frager, like the success that he's had is because he's been able to go out there and play and trust his work, and his skill set has helped him because we've had other guys obviously step up and be who they are, and Frager can just go out and be a redshirt freshman and use some of his talents and skill set to his advantage. And I mean, these other guys, Wagler, he's had some tough stretches too throughout the year as well. But it's their confidence and their belief in who they are as players, and I think that's tough to have as a freshman. But those guys, that's why they're special. They have it.
Yeah, each week in the league, you realize why it's an elite league in the Big Ten this year for college hoops. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. One more segment coming up with assistant coach Pat Monahan, then we'll let him get back to watching some film. We'll have Andy Markowski, Eric Strickland, Bryce McGowens from Alumni Weekend. So we have a trio of interviews with Jessica Coody coming up in the final segment as we continue right after this.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commission. This equals fair treatment to their customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company, and now to celebrate the 75th year in business for a limited time, get a New York AC or furnace for $75 per month. Get you and your loved ones comfortable again with SOS. Call 402-391-2336.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path, Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Kyle Crooks alongside assistant coach Pat Monahan of Nebraska Hoops. This is the Nebraska Basketball Show. Final segment with Coach. Then we'll have a trio of interviews from a very busy alumni weekend. Andy Markowski, Eric Strickland, who of course was the NIT MVP back in 1996. Bryce McGowens, who's playing in the NBA currently, of course, made his impact in a short time here with Nebraska. We'll have those three interviews coming up in the final segment with Jessica Coody. So a big one coming up this weekend. You turn the page. Again, you don't have a whole lot of time to sit and wallow in pity and things like that. You have a new opponent coming in, Penn State. Every game in this league is tough. I was coaching, looking down their schedule. You know, they played some tight games this year. Michigan by one possession. Purdue, Illinois was pretty close. I think they played Michigan State pretty tough. Looking at it. So when you look at the opponents they played and how they've played them, this is a pretty darn good Penn State team coming in.
Yeah, it is. And they're a young team, so they've gotten better throughout the season. They've obviously got a lot more comfortable with each other. Like you said, you get to this time of year. You got to be a desperate team. You gotta want. There's teams. The more desperate team usually this time of year, it usually ends up out on top. And I think for us, playing a team like Penn State, their style's a little bit different than Iowa's.
Mm-hmm.
from yesterday. So we got to do a good job of adjusting, and we'll put together a really good game plan on both sides. And I mean, we're looking to just get back out on the floor and compete here on Saturday.
What's the key to a faster start? Maybe getting a different first half, not having to play from behind, or just work your way out of a slog in the second 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is continue to emphasize the paint. I mean, when we've had paint touches off dribble penetration to kickouts, or we've gotten the ball in the paint off post-ups, or we've gotten the ball in the paint off our cutting, it's allowed us to get off to some faster starts. And I think we got to continue to make that emphasis here as we move forward. Playing ahead early, especially at home, which probably we haven't done in a week and a half. So is what we need to do.
How much do you get a chance? We're talking with Pat Monahan, assistant coach, Nebraska Hoops, to be a fan of college basketball and watch some of these other games. I was watching, you mentioned Texas Tech, Arizona State last night. The parity in college basketball has been really fun. I was watching, TCU had a big upset. I'm blanking on the opponent last week. And then
Iowa State
Iowa State, yeah. And you look at all these upsets, and Kansas without their star player beats Arizona and Fog Allen. Like, it's pretty fun, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's great for the fans. I do watch a lot of college hoops. I mean, college hoops is my favorite game to watch. I'll watch more of the NBA once it gets here towards middle of March, April in the playoffs. But it's more so, I mean, watching a lot of college basketball, mid-major, low-major, obviously high-major basketball. But it's fun watching other teams, other styles of play, because you try to pick something out that maybe you can help your team with.
Do you are you on like ESPN Plus on a Tuesday night watching some of the mid-major games?
Oh yeah.
You're like a college basketball sick?
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'll watch Vermont play Maine.
Well, that's your background, right? So that never leaves you. You love that stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of ingrained in me, and that's why I've always felt like it helps you then, especially in this time now with the transfer portal. I know who this guy.
Yeah.
I watched him, so you have kind of an idea of that league or that team, and moving forward here once March rolls around.
You know, when I watch games, I can't not broadcast them in my head. It's a sickness. I would assume for you, you're saying, "Oh, that baseline out of bounds was cool," and watching a random game, you probably can never get out of that.
Yeah, no, I can't, and I think it's fun just to watch on a random Wednesday night or Tuesday night. I mean, now last year, it was in the Mount West, and I got to watch a lot of West Coast games because of just the time difference and stuff. And now I find myself up a little later watching more West Coast games around midnight, which is good. I mean, I felt like I was 2 weeks ago. I was watching Portland play Gonzaga late at night, and I mean, it was the night Portland beat Gonzaga, but it was those. Sometimes you forget about those West Coast games because it is so late, 2 hours behind us. It's like in 2 weeks when we go out to UCLA, I think we play UCLA at 8 o'clock local time out there in California. It's 10 o'clock here. So hopefully we got some Husker fans still up watching that.
Yeah, well, hopefully our producers are up because we need somebody back here at the studio that day. Final one, Coach. Did you get a chance to chat with anybody Alumni weekend? I know a lot of guys were back. Did a lot of the guys come through, get a chance to talk to some of the players and mingle, interact?
Yeah, we did actually. The event on Friday night was great. I mean, Keith and Cheryl putting that event together with Luca. It was great to have all those alumni back. I mean, that's what it's about. Those guys have set the foundation. We actually had one of our current players, Connor Sejan, speak at that, which was really, really cool. And it was great to just see all the former alumni back here and their tradition of Husker basketball and how we're continuing to move it forward and push it forward. But I want to give a shout out to the people behind the scenes who put that event together because that took a lot of hard work and it turned out unbelievably well.
Yeah, wrangling 75 former basketball players is not an easy task. We had Cheryl Burbach on the show last week, and she talked about a lot of the work and the logistics that went into it. So a shout out to everybody behind the scenes because it was certainly an awesome event and it was capped off by a win over Northwestern. Coach, we can't thank you enough. It was a late night last night and I'm sure an early morning for you guys, but we appreciate you coming in here and chatting hoops and talking about the game, because fans like to get your perspective. We can sit here and talk about it, but fans want to get the coach's perspective, so we can't thank you enough.
Yep. No, thank you. I appreciate it, Kyle, and go Big Red.
Assistant coach Pat Monahan, appreciate him for joining us here in studio. Still one more segment to go of Andy Markowski, Eric Strickland, both from that 96 NIT championship team. Sat down with Jessica Coody. Bryce McGowens as well had a chance to catch up with Jess at the game this past Saturday. So one more segment to go here on the show right after this.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset. These trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology consultation, head to appliedconnective.com today.
Now's the time to save on trucks at Woodhouse Chevy. Lease the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cab 4x4 for $399 a month. Or save up to $10,000 off MSRP on retired courtesy 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s when financed through dealer. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. Retired courtesy loaners. Qualifying trade-in of 2011 or newer vehicle. Lease for 39 months, 10,000 miles plus first payment. Finance based on manufacturer rebates. Expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Back here on the Nebraska Basketball Show, we really appreciate assistant coach Pat Monahan for joining us for the first three segments. I know kind of a frustrating flight back for the guys last night. Was a late night, early morning for the coaches to dissect the tape. One of those games where you don't play well, you don't shoot it well, and in the end, you're right in the thick of things late, but fall 57-52 in what was certainly a staggered pace type of game. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. And also the Huskers will get a chance to get back home this weekend again for another Saturday. Penn State is coming to town. That'll be a 1 o'clock tip, so a 12 p.m. start to our coverage with KP and Coach Jeff Smith. So back at home and a chance to get right here for the Huskers. This past Saturday, Northwestern was in town, but that was just part of it because it was a party at PBA, and certainly the night before at the banquet, it was Alumni Weekend honoring the 30th anniversary of the 1996 NIT champions. And we had a couple of very special guests that will join us here on the show. Jessica Coody was out and about at that banquet on Friday night, getting a chance to talk to a few of those standouts from that 96 team, including Andy Markowski and Eric Strickland. Eric was the NIT MVP that year, part of what was a tremendous team and certainly part of the celebration of Alumni Weekend. And here are those conversations with Andy and Eric.
All right, well, first of all, this event's grown pretty special. How cool is it? How great is it that this is something that's carried on every year?
Yeah, well, first, give Coach Miles credit, right? He's the one that started it. It was very small, and then it's growing. You know, a lot of familiar faces, but this year has added some new excitement in the sense of just been a great season. It's had its own energy, and then, you know, the 30-year anniversary of the 1996 team, which I have a few of my teammates that I haven't seen in a while, so it should be a really fun weekend.
Tell us about that team that's being honored this weekend, that 96 team. What was so special about that group?
It had a lot of good basketball players. So 4 from that that team played in the NBA, and that story's been told a long time. 96 was a little dysfunctional season. We got off to a 12-1 start. Had some things that didn't go well for us. Lost 10 in a row. Still got into the NIT and then won 5 in a row. And we played Mississippi State in Portland over Christmas, and it was, I think, an 81-78 game. And that's the year they went to the Final Four. So a ton of really good guys, a ton of really good basketball players, and it certainly finished the right way.
I was noticing that team is on the season list for assists, and this current team is chasing you guys down. Are there some similarities with how you guys share the basketball and how this current team shares the basketball?
Yeah, certainly. We had selfless players that shared it. But if you think of the 3 guards on that team, Teron Lue, Eric Strickland, and Dron Boone, they were all 3 pretty special offensive players. So they demanded a lot of help and were able to pass and find open players. So, both teams had, really, versatile scoring guards, versatile forwards. But sharing the ball was something that those 3 guards did, and certainly this team is one. Probably will go down in history as the best passing team that we've had.
How special is it as an alum to see the kind of season that's being put together for this group this year?
Well, I've lived it. In the '90s, going over 5 in the NCAA tournament, then you hear that we haven't won an NCAA game, and then certainly there was a couple decade dry spell. So this program has been there. It's been fun to see them at the top and the energy around it, and hopefully this is sustainable because I think the fans have really enjoyed it, the coaching staff and the players have bought in, and I just hope being towards the end, there's still a lot of basketball left for them to go out and get done.
And how important is it for you guys to keep coming together, all the generations of Huskers, and why do you think it continues to be so special? I mean, I'm seeing so many different generations here talking.
We have that common bond. I think if you're once a Husker, always a Husker. And, when you have excitement to come back forward, I think it adds some new people back into Lincoln, back in for the weekend. You can reconnect and tell some different stories. So, it's really important. I mean, when we were, playing in the 90s, the players in the 80s would come back and compete against us. In the 90s, we would play against some of the players in the 2000s. So now that it's 30 and 40 and 50 years out, obviously the games aren't happening anymore, but it's still fun to, rub elbows and tell stories and, just reminisce and see what people are up to. So I think this energy is, healthy. I think it's recruiting. It's, us showing up tomorrow shows the fans that they're part of something that, is special, that has a good culture. So I think all these are drops in the bucket and helps the men's basketball build a stronger program.
How special is this and what is being done here this weekend for the alumni?
Well, it's amazing, and I love that it's growing. The success of the Husker basketball team is also, a big feature of it all. But you can't realize how it's 30 years that has passed. That's what's crazy. I'm looking up, I still feel and look young, and it's 30 years. And so it's a beautiful thing to get with our guys and to be able to come together.
Tell us about that 96 group. I know it's a little disappointing, but you guys go through that NIT run. What was it about that group that was so special and so memorable?
Well, it was the resilience of it all. We easily could have thrown in the towel, tanked it in, and gave up. But it shows that a team that can come together, unite, and come under one cause, what you can accomplish. We had a phenomenal team, and I think that team at the end of the year, nobody would have wanted to play us if it came down to an NCAA tournament run.
It seems like all the different generations of Huskers, you guys are all talking like you all played together. Tell us about the brotherhood and just how the familiarity of, hey, you might not have played with each other, but it's just that connectivity is there.
Yeah, once you're a Husker, you're always a Husker, and it's a big family. And it's good to see from all the way back to Maxie and how they continue to stay around. And when we see each other and we connect, it's beautiful to be able to see them. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come back and make sure that I share this moment with them.
How special is it as player here in this program to see what's being done here this season?
It's been amazing what Fred has been able to put together and to get the guys to buy in. And not only to buy in, but to believe. That's a major component of being able to go out each and every night, go on the road, be able to come out with victories. And I think they've done that, and they're going to continue to do so. And it doesn't seem like they're satisfied, and that's the beautiful thing as well.
Great stuff with Jess and checking in with Andy Markowski and Eric Strickland, part of that 96 NIT championship year. 30th anniversary of that, and they were honored this past Saturday at PBA. One of the players more recently making a massive impact on this Husker program, Bryce McGowens, who's currently in the NBA with the New Orleans Pelicans, had a chance to come home because it was during All-Star Weekend, made a massive impact in his short time here. And here's the conversation that Bryce had with Jessica Coody.
All right, Bryce McGowens, how does it feel to be back again in PBA?
It feels great. It's amazing atmosphere here on this amazing Saturday. It feels good, just to feel the college energy again, feel Cornhusker family. So I'm excited to be back, and it's great.
Alumni weekend. You guys come back almost every year, or try to when you can. Why is it important for you and Trey to always try to make it back? Yeah,
Nebraska gave me a lot, all their love, their support towards me, and they still showing a lot of love and support towards me. So, anytime I can come back and, show support to the guys, to the community, to the college, to the university, I try to come back every time.
How much fun is it to interact with the different generation of Huskers?
Yeah, seeing the guys before me that were here and, led the way to me coming here. So it's just great being able to see them, interact with them. I met a couple of them already, and a couple new faces, so it's just glad to, be a part of the family.
What is it about that brotherhood that you guys just relate so well and can connect so easily?
Yeah, I feel like, starting off with the love of basketball. It's what we love to do. It's what we love to do. And the university behind us, they took great care of all of us, so, we're pouring back in.
How about this team this year? How proud are you of the way that this team is performing?
Yeah, they've been great. They've been getting after it. They've been battling. It's a great group of guys, great group of coaches. I'm just excited to see their success, and hopefully we can, get it at tourney and make it shake.
When you were here, you had a lot of belief that Coach Hoiberg would get this thing rolling. What is it about him and the staff that they're able to kind of get here and get to where this group is right now?
Yeah, they do a great job with the guys they bring in, in emphasizing their role within the team. Like, you look out here, everybody knows their role, and they execute it at a high level. And, that's why they top 10 in the country.
Appreciate your time. Great to see you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Great stuff with Jess and Bryce McGowens. Certainly, Huskers are prideful that Bryce was a part of this program, doing great things at the NBA level with the New Orleans Pelicans, and really happy he was able to get back into town. Credit to everybody behind the scenes, like we mentioned with Coach Monahan, Cheryl Burbach leading the charge with others, getting 70-plus former Husker basketball players here into town for the Friday night banquet and then for the game on Saturday. Well, the Huskers will be back at it. A little bit of a break before Saturday. We'll tip that one off against Penn State. 1 o'clock tip-off, and what that means is a 12 p.m. Central start to our coverage on the pregame show. Kent Pavelka and Coach Jeff Smith have all the action for you, Huskers and Penn State Nittany Lions. Huge thanks to Josh Hilkeman and Camden Cohen behind the scenes, and assistant coach Pat Monahan. This has been the Nebraska Basketball Show.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Applied Connective Technologies may be an award-winning IT company, but since day one, our passion, commitment, and top priority have always been about people. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, President of Applied Connective, helping Nebraska businesses and organizations to operate at their peak potential. We're proud to offer world-class support in the areas of managed IT and cybersecurity, phones, surveillance, door access control, cabling, audio, video, and more. To hear what customers say about working with us or for a free technology